Aaron's going to start us off with the biomass boiler at the swimming pool, which many of you probably are across, but the idea of this session is just to give you a quick snapshot of some local companies and what they're after, and including the council. So over to Aaron.
Thanks, Catherine. So, yeah, I will be quick, so it's a quick fire session. But if you have any questions, you can catch up with me afterwards, or my contact details will be on the final slide, so you can get in touch with me. So I'll be talking about the biomass boiler that we installed at the Aquatic Centre here in Mount Gambier. So most aquatic centres run on gas boilers, so around the country. Ours was a bit unusual. Our aquatic centre was built in the 80s, and it did actually have a biomass boiler from the start that ran on sawdust from a local mill. But it was coming to the end of its useful life, so we had to replace it. So we looked into the alternatives. So those are obviously straight gas, like most aquatic centres, a sort of solar, hot water, gas combined option, and also biomass. So we were aware that biomass technology had improved a lot since the original boiler was installed. The original boiler basically sort of ran on feel, and we knew that there was more efficient and improved technology, so we also considered that as an option. So we did a triple bottom line assessment looking at financial, social, environmental considerations, obviously looking at capital costs and operating costs. The environment component, we considered the natural step framework, which is council's sort of framework for considering environmental sustainability. So biomass rated first in every category except for capital cost. So it's cheaper to run. It's also runs on wood chips from local plantations that are regrown, so it's carbon neutral, and also supports the local economy through the local forestry industry. So we did a business case, sort of high-level sort of business case before considering our options, before we made a decision on the options. So in terms of biomass compared to the most likely alternative, so a straight gas system, it was significantly more expensive, so up to twice the cost for a straight gas boiler, standard boiler, but less than half the cost to run, or we thought it would be less than half the cost to run than a gas boiler would be. So on that, it had about a 4-year payback period compared to straight gas. So we went through that process and decided to go for a biomass boiler and put out a tender, an open tender. And the boiler we selected was the one that we have there now, which is a 650 kilowatt biomass boiler made in Austria. It's a Binder boiler. We actually bought it through a New Zealand company, and it has online monitoring, as well as you can change the settings online, so they can do it through the internet basically from anywhere. So from New Zealand they can hop onto the system, have a look. If some settings need to be changed, they can change it automatically over the internet. Runs on wood chips from local pine plantations, so the moisture content is around 20 to 30%. It was installed in September 2013, so because we already had a biomass boiler, we didn't have to put in a whole new feed system. We basically just had to upgrade the feed system that was already there. It's supposed to have a 20 to 25 year life. Supplies only the heat, so it doesn't do electricity, but it's direct combustion, supplies the heat for heating the water. So it heats around 1.38 megalitres to sort of 27 to 31 degrees. Could do higher, but that's where you want it for swimming. In terms of the cost, so the capital cost was, for the boiler itself, was a bit under 360,000. Upgrading the feed system a bit under 40,000. So overall, just under 400,000 for the whole system. And we financed, council financed that all itself, so we didn't receive any grant funding or external funding. So since September 2013, I believe it still is the first and the only biomass boiler at Aquatic Centre in Australia. You do have them in New Zealand and other countries at aquatic centres, but I believe in Australia it's still the only one at the moment. Been operational for those two seasons. It's maintained the heat very well. We've had positive feedback from our regular swimmers. The previous system ran on feel, so the temperature would go up and down, but this boiler maintains the temperature very well, so it keeps a very stable temperature, which is obviously good for the swimmers and good for business. Uses approximately 500 tonnes of wood chip per season. So our season at the Aquatic Centre, it's an outdoor pool, runs for 6 months, so it's not a 12-month operation. So looking at the business case after it's been running for a couple of seasons, the operational costs have been slightly higher than we anticipated, but it's still half of that of gas. So when you look at gas prices, it's still sort of a 4 to 5 year payback period. So it's still roughly on the mark of where we thought it would be. What do we learn from the process? So lock in your fuel supply first. So it's important to know what fuel is available and to lock that in. We experimented with different feedstocks, so trees that council cut down around the place as well as blue gums. But unfortunately the contractor we used didn't have a screen on his chipper. So that meant that there were some oversized chips that kept blocking the feed system, which causes the whole system to stop basically, even if it's the middle of the night, which can be quite vexing for the manager of the centre. But the source that we get them from now has a screen, so that problem's been eliminated. You could trial clean urban timber waste. We'd like to do that at some point. We haven't done it yet, as well as supply hot water for the showers, because obviously during the pool season the showers are going all the time. That's something the system could do, but we just haven't got around to doing that yet. This kind of system could suit a variety of different buildings, so obviously aquatic centres, civic buildings, hospitals. There's one similar to this at the Beaufort Hospital in Victoria, which a lot of you are probably aware of. If you ran it over 12 months, it would be more cost effective than just the 6 months, but our aquatic centre is only open for 6 months, so we don't really have that option at the moment. So if you're interested in bioenergy, then have a look at your heat and electricity requirements. Assess what feedstocks are available in your area, so the total volumes of different kinds of feedstocks, how much they would cost your organisation. Look at different technologies, so this was sort of, we left our tender pretty open and let the market come back to us, and this is what seemed to suit our requirements at the aquatic centre. Do a triple bottom line assessment and get quotes. If you like more detailed information, there's a case study on the City of Mount Gambier website, so if you go to the council website and just put in biomass boiler, you should find it. We're happy for people to come and have a look at the boiler. At the moment it's not going because it's the off season, but in October we'll fire it up again and get it going, so happy for people to come and have a look at any time. And if you have any more questions, then my contact details are there. So thank you.